It opened so many doors, not just doors for me to go down and actually walk in myself, but it opened up doors for other people as well. And what I mean by that is, when the documentary came out, I had a lot of people direct message me and contact me through other social media and emails as well, and just saying such nice things like, what you said on that documentary has helped me massively. It's helped me mentally, it's helped me as a person. You know, it's so brave for someone, a man who has so much pressure, to open up and express what I've gone through. This game here, where I returned to football, 11th of August 2012, FA Cup against VCD Athletic. We lost 4-3. And this game here was the game changer, because when I brought this ball home and I put it in that cabinet, that's when I said to myself, I need to be here. I need to change my life. You know, having thoughts of taking my life, to putting this ball in my cabinet and thinking, I'm so proud, I'm glad I didn't do that, and now I'm here. I remember I was in McDonald's once in Wandsworth drive-through, and a person come up to me and he's like, growing up on the 11. And I was like, oh, what's he gonna say? Is he gonna throw some banter, or is this gonna be the first one of someone saying something that I'm not gonna like? And he went, this is his exact words, growing up on the 11. And I looked at him. I was like, yeah. And I looked away to look at the screen, waiting for my food, waiting for my number to come up, and he was like, unbelievable, unbelievable. And I just had goosebumps from there, and we started chatting. He's now on my social media now, and there's just things like that really got me. So yeah, listen, I always wanted to be a footballer, always wanted to be a professional footballer for as long as I can remember. And you know, when I got to around 16, 17, they always say that you should really be in an academy by then. You know, and I think I wasn't. I think I was at Kingstonian at the time, which is still semi-pro, but it wasn't professional. And you know, see me, I'm one of them people, like, if it's not there, then I kind of like give up in a sense, where I was like, okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I was still young. It was a silly thing to think at 16 you're not gonna make it. And I always thought to myself, you know, I don't want to go work a normal job. I don't want to do that. And you know, I didn't get the best grades in school. I wasn't smart. I messed about in school, which I regret.
But I just want to say, like, just because you didn't get the best grades at school doesn't mean that you're not smart.
No, but back then I just thought, you know, I haven't got good grades if I haven't got anything to fall back on. And the elders used to always tell me, and I never used to listen, used to go in one ear out the other. The elders used to always tell me, make sure you do well in school and always have a backup plan. Nearly 2 years on, it'll be 2 years in September, we're still talking about growing up on the 11. I'm still getting constant, you know, amazing feedback from people, coming across people who are still watching it. And yeah, man, I look back and I watch it sometimes, and I don't regret anything at all. I may look at it and think, oh, could have done something a bit different. I might have repeated myself a couple times, but then I think back and I think, you know what, I was just being me. Nothing was rehearsed. You know, it was all raw. There was no script. Yeah, Tobrise had these questions. I didn't know the questions. It was like, boom, go, yeah. You know, and I looked and I thought, oh, should have said that. And people probably would have watched it and gone, you know what, why did he just say that? Why did he say this? Why did he say that? He's repeating himself. But it's me. I'm being me. I can't change that. Yeah, and this is why I wanted the documentary. We didn't want no take 1, take 2, take 3. We wanted to film, bang, let's go in. A normal conversation with the camera rolling and me just being myself. want my kids to want to look up to me as their role model. And how do I do that is trying to be the best person and the best person and dad that I can be to them. And yeah, we're a very close-knit family, and we will continue to be like that, and it's not for long. You don't get your kids for that long. Once when they hit 8, 9, they want to start doing. Even my son now, he's going to be 5, and he doesn't. I can't even go. If he's on the toilet, I go down. He's like, he shut the door. Dad, get out! Like he's nearly 5, and he's starting to get like, oh, the embarrassing dad's coming around. He might be dancing. I might get up and dance next to him, and he gets embarrassed. You know, so you don't keep your kids for long. They're not kids for long. The majority of your life is 85% of your life. You're an adult. You know, it's only a small part. So we just try and do as much as we can as a family, and we will continue to do that. And when they grow up, you know, hopefully they've got a lot of good memories. And me being the man, obviously, to my boys, because I've got 2 boys and another boy on the way, I would want to be their role model. What I'm trying to do is share my leadership with others, and if it can help other people, amazing. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy helping people. Like, I love helping people. I get a buzz off of it. It's the same on the football pitch. People will say to me, you need to be more selfish. Why don't you like scoring? I love setting goals up. I love assisting. I love helping people out. I love putting people before me. I don't give myself a lot of ratings, and I think I should start doing that a lot more. But there's one thing about me that I know that no one can ever take away from me, and that's being the realest, most honest person there is out there. And no one could ever take that away from me, and that's facts. What I ask for is just loyalty and just a little. The thing that annoys me is I only hear from people when they want something, and it still happens. It still happens now, and it really frustrates me. I'm this nice guy that everyone can go to and ask for stuff, and I'm not talking about money. It could be anything. It could be football boots. It could be literally anything. I could post something. I've got this, got that, and the people jump on it like flies round. You know what I mean? But I don't see these people. And what I mean by that is I don't see these people. I don't hear from these people on a normal basis. How are you? Or if something's going well, look at the documentary. Do you know how much people shared that documentary? I could count on one hand how much people shared that documentary. Maybe 2 hands, maybe. Off the top of my head, one hand. People don't want to see you do well in life. They don't want to see you do well in life. Something negative comes up, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. And sometimes I get bored, and I think I should post something fake, something that's not even true, just to see what the reaction gets, just to see what it does. And there's been loads of times that I've had little small businesses, and there's been lots of positive things in my way, and there's only a small percentage of people that have seen that. But the negative side to some of the things that's gone on, you start to see everyone. You see everyone, and that will forever frustrate me. Again, even talking the way I'm talking, it will frustrate people because they don't like to hear the truth. And some of the people who are your proper haters are some of the people closest to you. I've always felt left out with friends. In certain situations, I always feel like I get invited because people are probably gonna get that I'm gonna get upset with me not being invited and stuff like that. So I feel like I don't even know. Yeah, it's annoying me even speaking about it, to be fair.
I can kind of tell that your tone has changed slightly because of that, and Is it something that you're processing every single day? And of course, you know, as like, you know, you become wiser and your kids are growing up as well, is it kind of something that's consciously just on your mind?
It messes with me every day. If I see different friends or people that I know, it could be anything. I could be on social media and I could see a group of friends. Like I got a pal that I went to school with. They got an amazing friendship with their friends that they grew up with, and there's like 7 or 8 of them. And I always say to myself, I wish I was doing stuff like this with my friends. And we all go through our different journeys. We get that. We all got our lives. We all got our bills to pay, you know. And I get that. It can't always be amazing. I can't always see my friends. But I wish. And I'm just fed up of wishing. I don't associate with my friends a lot because we're just on different chapters. We're on different chapters. Some people are still doing the same thing from 10 years ago. Some people have advanced. Some people have moved away. And you don't catch me down the pub. You don't catch me on a night out. You catch me very rarely meeting up with friends and going out for dinner. It's very rare. I go to work. I do the family thing. I'm a dad, and I go football. Repeat. I just wish some of my friends could be really open and more honest with me. Let's have a grown man conversation. We're all in our 30s now. We're all quite experienced. Let's all sit down. Let's go and have a beer and let's speak about if there is an issue, any problems going on. If there's stuff you don't agree with, let's address it and speak like men. Listen, look, I've always been a confident player. Always been a confident player. And if you don't rate yourself, who's really going to rate you? And I've always said to myself, I'm good enough. And I always get asked the same question: why don't you think you made it? Why don't you think you made it? There's quite a few things. It was always to do with my attitude. My attitude always let me down, and that was one of the biggest mistakes, you know, that I made is having that bad boy sort of image that stuck with me, and it crept up when I didn't want it to, if that makes sense. I'm technically unbelievable. There's no one I know who's technically better than me from the ends, and that's facts. Right foot, left foot, unbelievable. And I have to give myself them ratings, and a lot of people don't like that. They don't like that I say these things. They don't like some of the things that I may post about myself. It comes across as arrogant or big time. I'm happy with my football career, believe it or not. Did I play at the top, at the best level? No, of course I didn't. Did I play at the worst level? Yep. Yeah, some days is basically the worst levels. Yeah, amateur. I played semi-pro. I played a good level of semi-pro football. You know, 16 years of age, and I was, you know, in the first team, a Kingstonian. You know, so I've been around, and I wouldn't change, and I wouldn't change a thing. Should I have made a living out of football? Absolutely. I look round now and I see some of the ability out there, and I just think, are you even really good enough? And football's changed massively over the years. I picked up the hat-trick ball. It was the weirdest hat-trick ever. And people were probably looking at it thinking, oh, right, leave off, it's only a hat-trick in non-league football. But that's my football. That's where I play. It's my playground. Yeah, and I'm happy. Do I want that ball? Of course I wanted that ball. I was subbed off 10 minutes to go. Said to the manager, I want that ball. I'll pay for that ball if I have to. This is my playground. This is my life. My memories. When I'm an old man and I'm sitting in my chair and I can hardly move, I've got lots and lots to think about.
The word that keeps coming up is regret. You don't regret. You don't regret doing a documentary. You don't regret your footballing career.
Uh-huh.
What's one thing that you do regret?
That's a powerful question. Oh, that's a good one. I regret not opening up when I was at my lowest. I feel a little bit let down by myself that, you know, that I had them thoughts, laying on my bed thinking, you know, I don't want to be here no more. And I regret letting myself get to that level after all the pain that I had gone through, you know, losing my brother, and yeah, letting myself get to that point where I was thinking about, you know, possibly taking my life. And I look back what I've created now and the people that I've met now, you know, my wife, you know, my 2 kids, you know, and then obviously another one on the way. I could have lost that on all of this, you know. The football that I went on to do, the friends that I went on to meet, the opportunities that I had after, you know, I look back now and think, oh my God, like it kind of scares me. Sometimes I'm like, oh, imagine if I went through all that, what I would have lost out on. All of this. I would have lost out on all of this, what's going on. And how I've changed my life around. I don't think people actually realise how I've changed my life around. I don't think they'll ever get it. You know, people only see certain things. Some people might sit there and think, well, did he really have it hard? I don't know. You know, we all see things differently. But remember what I was going through on the inside, which no one knew about. You know, and I was putting on that front and that act. So that's one thing I regret, is letting myself get to that point where I wanted to take my own life, because it scares me of what I would have missed out on to everything that I've got now and what's going to happen in the future. There's so much more amazing things going to happen in the future. You know, my kids are going to grow up and be older and be teenagers and be adults, and you know, I'm possibly going to become a granddad. That scares me even saying that. That's crazy. But it's true, it's facts. You know, me and my wife will restart our lives again as well, because at the moment it's about our children. We had our babies, so we could, you know, throw our lives to them, you know, so they will get to a point where they get older, and then we will restart our relationship again, if that makes sense. We'll go on to do our things, because at the moment it's all about our kids, and we're happy to make it all about our kids. So there's so much more things to come in the future, and I'm so excited about it. And again, going back to that question, that's the one thing I regret, because of where I could have got to and what I would have missed out on. And I always say to myself, I don't know if I can use the word selfish for wanting to take your own life, but because there are people out there who are ill, who don't even get to live. You know, there's babies that die at such a young age. Loads of people, you know, and I think to myself, for me, nice and healthy, physically, I won't say mentally, physically healthy, it's selfish for me of wanting to take my life. And there's people out there who are completely struggling, who are going to die, who ain't even going to live. But I don't like to use the word selfish, because there are some people who are really, really mentally going through it and just can't cope. So it's a tough one, but yeah, that one thing I regret is letting myself get to the point where I possibly would have taken my life. And would I have done it? That's the question I always ask myself. Always ask myself, would I have done it? Would I have been brave enough to do it? And majority of the time, I always say to myself, I think I would have gone through with it, because I just literally couldn't cope. I couldn't cope inside. But luckily, I managed to jump that hurdle. Mad one. Yeah. But what makes me smile? The person I am. The person I am today. The change that I've made. And don't get me wrong, I have my bad days and I will forever have my bad days. But I allow myself to have my bad days. I don't try and fight against it. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to have a bad moment, and I allow myself to have that. And sometimes it may have an effect on the people around me, and I try not to as much as I can. And that's something I'm working on, and I can only get better through time and through experience. But what I won't do is I won't block most things out now, because I know that feeling of blocking things out, what it can do to you. There's lots of people that think what you see on social media, that everything's amazing. What you see on social media, you see some of the people with the best stuff, going on the best holidays, driving the best cars, you think their life's amazing. I can tell you it's not. There's so much people struggling. There's lots of people who put on this act for the social media. And that's why I keep my social media quite low and private, because I don't want to see that on my social media. I want to see real, raw, and I want to see experiences. I don't want to see all good experiences all the time. I want to see some real stuff that's going on. I think with the first documentary, obviously I opened up and spoke about some things that a lot of people didn't know about. And there's a lot more I could have touched on in the first documentary, which I've kind of transferred from there into this one, if that makes sense. And if you've seen the first one, you'll sort of get where I'm coming from in this one. We got to stop criticizing one another for doing things like this. We have to stop, making them comments and making people feel like crap about doing these things, because people get made out like this is only an A-lister thing or a famous thing or professional footballer, I don't know, that do these sort of things. It's not. What about us normal people? Why can't we tell our stories? Why can't we open up and tell everyone our journeys, or some of our journeys? We should be able to do this without you sticking your nose in and being negative. A lot of hate was covered up with banter, and they used the banter to cover it up because they didn't want to come across as, as poison, and they didn't want to show that they didn't like it, or they thought it was unnecessary, so they covered it up with the banter. But I saw straight through it. I knew, and I've had many discussions and disagreements with people over it, and some people thought I was taking it too far, when really I know exactly where you was coming from.
And how did that make you feel?
At the start of it was like a low blow. It was a low blow, because no one really got where I was coming from. They saw the trailer, they saw the little promo and thought, oh, what the hell is this? When really you should just be supporting it. And I don't mean by reposting it, supporting it as in go, okay, I want to look more into this. This looks alright. Let's see what this is all about. Now, if you saw bloody 50 Cent or something come on, you'll be rubbing your hands together and be like, oh, I can't wait to see this. Well, I'm no different. And at the start, when Grown Up in 11 came out, there was a lot of negative vibes floating about. There was a lot of indirect tweets. There was a lot of discussions happening, and there's a lot of people who came back to me and passed on info from others, which they don't even know that I know about. Yeah, and I always say, be careful who you speak to, because there's always that person who knows that person who will pass that information on to that person. And I haven't approached quite a lot of people, but I know exactly what you said about Grown Up on the 11. And you know what? Thank you for watching. Yeah, thank you for your support. can't always be good. Yeah, and the negative energy is what helps me and what gives me that extra 10% every day when I'm feeling low or feeling down. I think of all the people that want me to fail. And I did like a little podcast years ago, and the man asked me, why do you think people hate on you? You're not a celebrity or anything like that. And my answer back to was, I haven't got to be a celebrity to have haters. The decisions I make in life, some of the doors I open, is enough. Is enough to have people hating on what you do. We knew, me and my team, me, T, Kevin, and my wife, and everyone else who was part of it, we knew it just wasn't all going to be good. We knew it was going to create bad energy. And we, as us normal people who work a 9 to 5, who work normal jobs, need to do more stuff like this. Some people like to keep their books closed, and that's absolutely fine. We all take our journeys different, but we shouldn't be made to feel like we can't do this. We are all normal people at the end of the day, and making a mockery of someone's journey just shows what sort of person some people can be. And I will continue to do that. I will never ever let people's negative energy get in the way of my success. I have to battle through it all the time, and I will continue to battle through it. And that's something that I'll pass on to my kids and to the young people that I coach and mentor. And there's a lot to come from me, man. There's a lot to come. You can always reach out to me. I'm there for a chat, discussion. If I can help you in any way, I'll be more than happy to do that. And yeah, this isn't it, man. 1.5, however you want to call it. Man, there's a lot to come from Jacko.